and then turn it into skills. So Hermes now, the desktop version is pretty good. You can switch out your model. You can switch out, which machine you're running it on. You can have the back end running on a VPS, like some of you have already installed, and have the front end running on your desktop. So even if you shut your laptop, or if you just want to install the front end on different machines and still have access to the same skills, to the same 24/7 capabilities that you want things to run overnight, you want things to run 24/7, that all that's still possible with if you run it on VPS. We're not going to do it that way this time, but that's something that might be a later thing. And we'll probably talk about it at the end of it, as we're opening up a cohort, a paid cohort. So we'll talk about it then as well. It can run a lot of things. We're doing lead gen. You can do cold email. You can, run your content through it. You can sync your systems through it. You can use it for research and all these types of things that you might have heard of people using. In this case, we're just going to be going through it on a desktop, on a Windows desktop. I realized I didn't really introduce myself. Some of you know me. I A lot of you are here through Chris's newsletter, and Chris's newsletter. So I work with Chris. I handle a lot of his AI projects. I moved the laptop up. Hopefully you can hear me now. I do a lot of his AI projects, and I have several other clients as well. We also have a partner that does bigger, deeper projects, AI projects. So if that's something that you're interested in, I know some of you have said you are here because you want to start your own AI services business. Some of you are here because you want to use it in your existing business, which is AI, not AI related. So since it's both, we're just going to go through this, and we're going to kind of tailor it to both parties. This is something that you could use as a product that you sell for your AI services business, and this is very powerful for your own business to kind of hook systems into and be able to have one interface to like query, hey, I'm gonna ask like, hey, how did my sales reps do last month? How's my accounts receivable coming along for this week? That kind of thing. Those things are all possible with, hooking systems into Hermes. Um, Let me actually get started with the Hermes install, and then we'll go into the actual skill. Okay. Okay. So you would install Hermes on, you can just search. I sent out the link, but essentially Hermes agent, and you can download it for Windows here. Or it gives you all three choices down below. Don't worry about the command line. Download whichever one makes sense for you. And then you will have your Hermes desktop here. This may look a little bit different for you. You might have the right and left switched a little bit. Yeah, Hermes and OpenClaw, Nick, that's a good question. OpenClaw has been. I started off with OpenClaw when it was released, and it was great. It has probably the most out of the. It's gone broad. It has a lot of integrations. It has a lot of It has a lot of breadth to what you can do with it, but it's finicky. It breaks a lot, and it doesn't have a great inbuilt memory system. Hermes is great because it it has an inbuilt memory system that improves over time, um, and it just works. That's been my experience with it. I don't have to play around with it so much. It's not a project in itself. Hermes Agent is different from Claude Cowork. the so Claude and Cowork Claude actually, so the way that I explain it to people, and this is also changing, but at the moment, Claude, OpenAI, all the LLM, these models, these are the engine. Hermes and OpenClaw are the car around the engine. They are they give it a lot more capability. Like now, OpenAI and Anthropic, they're adding on the bits of the card by themselves. They're adding on routines, they're adding on loops, they're adding on things that you're able to run overnight. But at the moment, Hermes and OpenClaw are still ahead in terms of what they offer, and you have a lot more flexibility on how you install it and where you install it, what you connect it to. For example, here Hermes, I can connect it to literally any model that I would like. So connect it to another provider. I can, install, I can do Minimax, I can do Anthropic, I can do it with OpenRouter. You can have everything that you want. You can put it on a VPS and it runs 24/7. We're going to connect it to a messaging app, Telegram, so you can text to it. You can kind of talk to it like an assistant. But default model, that's so weird. Can we use a desktop app to control one Hermes on VPS? Yes. You can do that as well. And what default model? I recommend going with one of the frontier models. Right now, they're cheap. Right now, they're cheap in the relative sense. You can use Codex. Codex is out of the box, and this will be as helpful for lead gen. So let me walk through this real quick. So this is Hermes. You have your files on the left, and you have your toolbar on the right. So we'll start a new session. We'll let this one go. So this is similar to what you would find on a Claude or ChatGPT, but you have additional goodies that we'll talk about. Audio is fluctuating. Let me see if I have um let me get a set of headphones if people are having issues. Let me do that. Yeah. That's weird. Yeah.
I
I'll
can
get
hear
some
you
headphones.
perfectly.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. I think it's on that person's end. A few of us have piped up to say we can hear you all just fine.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, Victoria. Well, it's working
Okay,
for.
never mind. They're all saying it's coming in and out.
Let's try it. Okay. Now it's fluctuating. How's it now? Barely here. Interesting. How about now? Great. Good. Better. Okay. Um, there is some issue here with mic.
That was better. That was better, Drew.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Well, this will we'll keep going, and then let me know if it goes back out. I'm gonna speak loudly. Once you have your, I did not use Hermes, just good old school IT support stuff. So we have this Hermes on the right. So we have this toolbar on the right. So weird. Yeah, all went quiet. Yeah, well,
Yeah, try it now, Drew. It sounded much better.
I'm talking now. How's it now? Good? Better?
It's better. Yes.
Awesome. Using another, so I'll keep it that way. Let me know if it's still going out. I apologize for this. These types of things happen in the live run through and never in the practice setup. Okay. All right. So we got the toolbar on the right. What first we're gonna do is we're gonna hook up the messaging to it. This isn't strictly necessary. But I like doing this so I can check in on things on my phone, but we'll do this right now. So I don't know if you guys have installed Telegram or not, but Telegram's for me the Telegram's the best, simplest method to talk to it. I don't use Telegram for too much else, so it gives me like a nice. I'm just gonna talk to my agent. I'm just gonna talk to my agents through Telegram. So we'll go through the setup here on Telegram. So if you have Telegram installed, you can do this on your phone. You can do this on your desktop. It has both. You're gonna talk to somebody called the Bot Father. It is a bot, and you're gonna create a new bot. Slash new bot. Hermes. Or Hermes bot. Great. So it's created a token. It's created a actual bot. So we'll use this token that it needs. We'll paste in that Telegram token. So next we're gonna talk to somebody called user info bot. This will give me my ID. And we're gonna only allow this person, my ID to talk to my bot. So this is important. Make this false. And we're gonna save changes. Edgar, yes, I'll be sharing the recording. Does Hermes let you have a live conversation like Claude voice mode or Chat GPT voice mode? It does have this. I will not be able to demo it on this, but yes, it has voice mode as well. Okay, so restart needed. I'm gonna restart the gateway. Okay, we're gonna manually do it. And we're going to try connecting it through this. So if you go back to BotFather, it will show you the link to talk to your bot right here. Let's say you there. All right, we're gonna try. I don't think it restarted. We'll try it again. Neil, if you're using, I would not use the new the new portal only because it's going to lock you into their ecosystem. This is something that is open source, so you can set it up with you can use Open Router or you could use Codex to set it up. So Codex would be the right move to set it up with, and it has a OAuth application. Let me show that as well, if that's needed. Then it just uses your Codex subscription to run everything, and you don't have any extra payment. I know Open Router has some free ones, but you're using it per usage, which I mean, I personally don't like that. I prefer just using my existing subscriptions, so I would use Codex. Gateway restart done. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna set home. So this makes it the only channel that it's gonna talk on. Agent is running. I am here. How can I help? So now this is talking to my Hermes install on this machine, and I can talk to it like I would, any other agent. So Hermes basics. Here we got sessions. So these are like your different conversations that you've had going on. Do you mean OpenAI 5.5 or does that Codex? OpenAI 5.5 is perfect. That's exactly what I mean. So one thing that somebody was asking about differentiators between this and Claude Code and others. So it has cron jobs, which I think they're kind of looking to add on, but they are expensive. So I can say I can open up my cron jobs. Now, cron jobs are things that run on a schedule, and you don't have to be in front of them. You don't have to be in front of Hermes. It'll run something on its own. So right now, I have something set up that says check my DMs. This is just a dummy account, but on my actual agent, I have something that checks my LinkedIn messages every so often. And anybody that I've cold messaged, cold DM'd, and they've responded back, it takes that person, takes their information, and puts it into my CRM as a lead. So that's a way that you could use OpenAI, or you could use cron jobs for this. Could it be, let's see, specifically, so could it be run and
Could it be installed and run on Hostinger through Easy Panel like my OpenClaw? Probably. I'm not super familiar with Hostinger. I use DigitalOcean, but I assume it's the same. Hostinger might have set that up. If not, you can just always use the install instructions on the new portal website for Hermes, the Hermes agent website, and you'll get that on the recording, and I'll send that out as well. OpenAI, the right move versus Claude. Claude doesn't allow Hermes or any OpenClaw or Hermes to be used unless you're using their API, which is a per usage charge. You're getting charged as you use the API. It can be very expensive to do it that way. OpenAI allows it. You can use your existing $20 a month subscription, and that's all you need. So I'm using my $20 a month subscription, and it works perfectly. So that's why I say OpenAI. It works. It's nicer with these harnesses. Okay, so these are the cron jobs. Gemini is also a good one. Gemini is also usable. I find that it's I haven't found it as easy to use in terms of just conversations back and forth like OpenAI or Claude, but you could totally use any LLM you want. Here we got profiles. So here's like you could set up profiles with different LLMs. So this is something you say, hey, I'm going to use this is my profile for posting on social media. And you could have a certain LLM, you could have a certain soul where it has like I'll show you what the default soul is as well. So here you can select the model. Personality, it has no personality right now, but you can change, these types of settings here. Safety, I know that there's some concerns about safety. Hermes is good about safety. It asks you every time it wants to run something on the machine, and it'll say, hey, do you want to approve this for just this time? Here's what I want to do. Do you want, should I approve this just this time? Should I approve it for all future usages? Or should I deny this and deny it for all future uses? So every time it tries to do something new, it'll ask you, is this okay? And then you can approve it however you wish. Usually it's almost too conservative for my taste, especially if you're running it on a VPS. So memory and context, it has persistent memory is on. So this is kind of differentiates Hermes from OpenClaw and other harnesses. It's backed. It's built by a AI research company, and their memory system is what they have developed themselves. And it's as far as like remembering things out of the box stuff, this is perfect. Claude doesn't really have that great of a memory system in my view, as far as like over time accumulating the right things for what you want to do. Same with OpenAI. OpenClaw has a lot of plugins you could use. I haven't found one that works as well as Hermes. So text to speech provider. So this is somebody who's asking about, hey, can I talk to Hermes? Yes, you can do that. And here's the button for it. On the bottom right, start voice conversation. You can just talk to it back and forth. Artifacts is where it collects everything that you generate that's like a, hey, create me a presentation that I'm doing for a client next week. It'll generate and it'll store it here. Images, files, links, whatever it is, everything gets stored in the artifacts section, which is really nice that it collects it here. So we have providers. This is somebody was asking about what they should be connecting here. I use ChatGPT. It opens up to your account. You hit yes. It gives you a code, and then you're good to go on Hermes with OpenAI. It gives you this particular code, for example. So we're not going to be covering the remote gateway. So local gateway is if you're just using it on your machine. If you're using it on your desktop, you're using it on your laptop that you work off of, you would use local gateway. Remote gateway is if you were just using this as the front end and you wanted your actual agent to run on a VPS 24/7, and that's what the remote gateway is for. So different tools and keys, different tools and their respective keys. If you want to use Brave Search, Exa is great for also searching. Firecrawl is great for scraping websites, and it has a bunch more. You can connect anything you want here. It won't necessarily show up in this list, but you can connect anything that you want to Hermes. So it's a bunch of tools and key settings. So I think sudo password. So if anybody's using Linux on a VPS, sudo password is for doing running things as an administrator. This is if you just want it to run automatically, like if you want to install things and you want to run things as an administrator on your agent to be able to do that, you would put your password in here. Or it'll ask you every time to do anything that requires administrator. It's kind of up to you. People might have heard about MCP servers, how to connect different systems to Hermes. This is where you would put your MCP server in to connect it to different things. I typically use an API, but I know MCP is used as well. It does not have a phone app, Cecilia, not that I know of yet. And that's why we have the Telegram connection. So you can check in on things through your phone. And yeah, it makes it a lot easier. That you have your phone to kind of check in on things or start processes. And this is where you would do your real work. And your actual machine is where it runs. So let's say skills and tools. I'm going to run through how to connect it to your email. This is, I would say, I don't have that much experience connecting Outlook to it or the Outlook ecosystem to it. I usually connect it to the Google Workspace. It has your email, it has spreadsheets, it has Word documents, and if you're using it, if you're a super administrator on your Google Workspace, you can you connect it to so that it can manage your Google Workspace as well, like creating and deleting users, creating groups, creating forms like Google Forms. It can do a lot once it's connected. Yeah, so can you elaborate on your experience on the reliability of tokens for tasks on Hermes, biggest bang for buck? But so you're talking about paying for tokens in like your token usage, and I use that's why I use Codex or OpenAI. You have a certain amount of usage per month, and you can upgrade from 20 to the 100 or to the 200 level. And for my purposes, it's been enough. I use Claude Code as well for actually doing the software programming part of things. But for agentic stuff like this, Codex $20 plan is fine. Let me go over connecting the tools we need to set up the lead gen. Okay. So the three tools that we want to connect is Barbara, did you use the new portal login? Like, did you sign up for the new portal to do it? That may be why. Otherwise, if you skip that, it wouldn't. You don't need to connect it to a new portal account. You can just use Hermes as is. Sure. Search. Let me search for workspace. So Google Workspace is what you want, and we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that now in a new session. We're just gonna talk to it and see what it wants us to do. The Google Workspace skill. What do you need from me? Essentially, it's going to need an OAuth connection from your Google console. So on a Windows machine, it's gonna be under your app data, local Hermes. This is where it has this is where it installs, and this is where your skills are installed. And there's also your .n file, which is where you would put in all the credentials for it. So in this case, it's saying, hey, what do you need access to? Google Advanced Protection, probably not. We're going to open up Google Cloud Platform, and we're going to create a project in there, and we're going to give it certain APIs that we need it, and then we're going to add it back to the Hermes where it can pick up that authentication. So as we log in. Is this a bigger process? I'm bigger know almost nothing about using or working with AI. Much of being discussed is over my head. Is there a better place I should consider starting? Kevin, it might feel harder than this is. If you haven't used AI at all, I would start with using Claude.ai or ChatGPT.com, and then what we're doing here is just building on top of that. You're talking to a chatbot and you're connecting things that you use on a regular basis, and then it's kind of it builds really quickly. If you're not familiar with that at all, and this looks completely over your head, save the recording, go play with the chatbots, and then come back to this. But it's not as hard as it's looking right now. Mostly asking from a safety perspective, main account or separate profile. I've done both. If you wanted to read your messages, if you wanted to be able to create drafts in your messages, I suggest creating it, connecting it to your own account. It's a lot safer than it used to be. There were some horror stories when it came out. But if you have a process in place of what you're doing, what makes it unsafe is when you give it like an end goal and you don't really give it directions on how to do it, then it's going to try and find all the ways to possibly do it. The way I'm using it and the way that I recommend people use it is define a workflow, define something you do manually. That way you know the steps and give it that process. So that way it's much safer because it has a specific process that it does every time. Select the Google Cloud. We create a new project. So enable the APIs you need. So we're going to do Gmail. That is the problem. It burns an unbelievable amount of tokens. Any thoughts and workarounds? Caleb, I would say try using it with if you're using a like a per token usage API, then yeah, you're probably gonna feel that burn pretty quickly. Use one of the use Codex for that all inclusive. I have not played around with local models, so I'm not the best person to ask. But I believe that that's going to be coming up pretty soon because once the subsidization stops for for these models, we're going to go into this per usage type of usage anyway, and we're all going to have to figure out what the right model is for the right task. I believe that day is not far. Is there a way to go back and change your LLM model? Yes, you can do that in settings, and when we go back, I'll do that. So we enabled the Gmail API. We're gonna do Calendar, Drive, Google Sheets, and Docs. So these are like, for this one, I'm just gonna enable the Google Sheets. That's the one we'll be using, but you can do all these plus more. Hey Kyle, the chat interface is actually the desktop version of Hermes. So it's if you scroll down on that link, you'll see the desktop version. So we're enabling Google Sheets as well. Credentials. So next we're going to create the credentials for these APIs. Create an OAuth client. Release demo. Or keep it internal. There is some benefit to making it external. I believe that the credentials don't expire. But it makes it a little bit more complicated to get through this verification. So we're going to skip that. That is something we will cover in our cohort. Neil, you can keep the hosting your hosting. Is that what you're talking about of the back end for this? So you can install it on your VPS and you can keep the front end on your desktop. That's the way that I do it. I'm just going to check if it's a web app that they need. Oh, desktop app. Okay. Just testing. Select a desktop app. Call it Hermes desktop. So I'm going to download that JSON file. So now I can say I created the OAuth client, downloaded the JSON, and gave it Gmail and Sheets API access. So it's asking for where that file is stored. I believe it would be in downloads. So it's right here. So I can just let it know that it's in downloads. Downloads folder. So there's more efficient ways of doing this, but I just wanted you guys to see that it's just as easy as talking to a chatbot to set all these things up. If I was doing it for myself, this is not the way that I would necessarily do it, but it's doable this way. It's very simple to do it that way. Hey Peter, yeah, you'll get a recording of the whole thing, so no worries. Cecilia, that's a great question. Once it's connected to your own codex, does it pull in any of your chats? It does not. It has a separate memory compared to your ChatGPT chats. You can export your ChatGPT chats from the website and then feed it to Hermes, so it has your backlog, but it has a separate memory. Rather, Hermes takes care of that memory and everything. So do different systems. Yeah. Yes, it can. If you're using Claude Cowork, so here, like I was mentioning earlier, this is where Hermes is installed. What I do is actually I keep my end files synced between Claude Code or Cowork and Hermes. So it has both have the same set of credentials as so I don't have to keep copy pasting like or giving them access. So it just keeps them in sync. So you can do that. Hey Neil, we'll be doing a cohort starting July 1st, and that'll be like the more in-depth 3-week thing that will allow, kind of building a certain thing together, and we'll like do twice a week calls, and you'll have access to me just to chat and email and whatever. So we'll set it up for your business. We'll build it with you, but I'll talk about that at the end. These particular workshops, maybe once a month we do them. No problem. So we're gonna open this. We're gonna authorize our account. So it's going to say Hermes demo, the name that we just gave it, wants to be able to read my emails, send emails, see my contacts, and be able to edit sheets. And I'm going to say, yes, allow it. And that's going to give me a link here, which is expected. I'm going to copy this link and paste it back into Hermes. Yeah, Peter, so what you're seeing right now on screen is the Hermes front end. It is also running the backend on the same machine, but if you have Hermes running on a VPS, you can install Hermes desktop, which is what you see on screen right now, and have it connect to your Hermes on the VPS. So you keep that system running, and now you can open this up and be able to manage, your files and whatnot. Like you're saying, they're a pain, but you can do that here much more easily. So now Gmail's connected. It's saying authenticated, Gmail API works, ran a small Gmail search. Sheets commands are also available, which is great. Telegram is connected, Google is connected. Now we're going to connect our browser. No worries, Peter. So we're going to ask it, hey, can you, and you want it to, what it by default does is it connects to it creates a new instance of Chrome, like Google Chrome, and it connects to that. But what you want is for it to connect to the Chrome that you're already using, that you already have stuff logged into. For example, we're going to connect it to Facebook. We should just use the one that's already connected. It's easier, especially with these sites that like really tamp down on automation. For VPS security, you would set up the firewall that's built into Debian or Ubuntu or whatever system you use. And that closes up all the ports except the ones that you're using. And I would disallow any password logins. I would just keep it to SSH logins. And that's like a key exchange. So you have your key here, you have a key on the machine, and so only this machine and this machine can log in. Hey Milos, I would say keep it in the same keep your VPS in the same location as where you are. It can trigger things that that you don't want where it's when it's in different continents. You want your Facebook to be in the same, at least the same country. So can you connect Google Chrome, the profile that I'm currently using, not a new one? So it's going to try and connect to the same browser that we already have running. At the same time, we could say, what was the last, this is just to test out Telegram and its connection to Hermes and its connection that and the tools that we've connected to Hermes. What was the last email I received about Hermes? So like, so Hermes like this, like I'm accessing my email. It's gonna ask, hey, is it okay if I run this command? I'm gonna hit allow. So I'm just showing you the Telegram capabilities. This is more for your phone. Like it doesn't make sense to have Telegram and Hermes desktop on the same machine. So this is just to show you that it works. Check back on this. So yes, there's a Chrome running without Chrome, so Hermes cannot attach it. Close, restart Chrome. So I'm gonna close Chrome. Closed Chrome. You can restart it with right flags. Port. Okay. Let's check back on Telegram. The last email I received was from, so last email, I got a new registrant, so it can read my email now, and I can, do a lot more with my agent because it can read, it's connected to my Google ecosystem. Looks like it's connected. So while it's doing that, let me show you what the lead machine, what this looks like, what this generating leads is all about. So like we talked about in the beginning, you want your workflows to mimic what you do manually and then be able to map it out the same way. So for example, I have a newsletter and an agency called Clawdrop. This is how we got connected, this is where you signed up. And I got my first 1,000 subscribers to Clawdrop using this technique on Facebook and Reddit. you want it to, the way that I would manually do this, and if there's some marketers out there, there might be better ways that you know how. But what's worked for me is joining specific Facebook groups, adding value, and then only when it's like invited, sending a link to what you do. That way you're not banned, you don't get banned, you're not breaking rules of the groups, which most groups have a no spam, no promotion type of thing. And you are kind of just being a helpful member of the community, and dropping your link where it makes sense. So this lead machine, it's doing exactly those things, but just on autopilot. So in this case, the idea is I give it a bunch of groups that are relevant to me. It goes through those groups on a daily or twice a day basis. It scores all the posts that it comes across, and then tells me, hey, these are the posts that you could be responding to, and here are the drafted response. So what it's going to do is it's going to have a scoring system that it's built for itself. It's going to review those and then draft the post for each of them. Then it's going to put them in a spreadsheet and send it to me. So all that scrolling and seeing what I should respond to, all that time spent doing this manually, all that is done by the agent. Then I can go through the spreadsheet and say, hey, yeah, post this, okay, edit this, don't post this, whatever. So it'll just then on the next run, it'll then go and post those things. The way that I've structured it, and this will be different depending on the company that you run or what you're trying to accomplish. T1 in this case, I'm not sending any links. I'm just providing value. If I provide good enough value to a post, they're going to click on my profile. My profile has my link on it, and that's how people drive a little bit of traffic. The other one is if somebody's asking for something, this is where you would drop your link. So it's calling it T+1. So if somebody's asked, so this is like so T1, T2, you could T1 plus T2 is about the same, where you're dropping a link where somebody's asking for it. And if somebody replies to you, that's what you would then DM. So all of this, except for where you're reviewing the posts, the rest is automated. So I already have the skill built out, so it creates some code to do portions of this, and then it uses its reasoning capabilities to do other parts of it. So you want as much as you want into actual scripts, Python scripts. And you don't have to know coding, you don't have to know how to code or anything. It will do it on its own. You just have to tell it, hey, I want this process to run reliably, so make it as deterministic as possible. Spam already. So let's say it has already connected. We check that. Let's see. Open up. Let me show you the skill I have here. So right now in the skills folder on the left, I have a Facebook lead gen skill. It has these scripts that we talked about. So another good thing about Hermes Desktop is it has a viewer. You can open up files and pictures and whatnot right within it if you need to. It has the scoring rubric, what it's using. Hey, this is relevant. It's more relevant, or it's where you can add value, how fresh it is. So these things will differ based on what you're trying to do. Would you recommend someone having Hermes instead of a custom GPT? It can do a lot more. Yeah, and the idea for this workshop is like and tell me if this is too overwhelming. Like if it's too overwhelming for you, please drop a one in the notes in the chat, just to get an idea of, hey, this is too much, or this is like, if it's working for you, if this is valuable for you, great. If it's not, drop a one in the chat like that, and I'll have some idea of like, hey, this is too much. The idea is that this is like you don't have to know everything about it. You don't have to know everything about Hermes and all of the intricacies of it. You just have to know that this is an agent you can connect your ChatGPT account to, and it will do a lot more. It'll do a lot for you. So just start with one thing that you do. If you want to, let's say you're running a business and you just want to check your accounts receivable every day. You could connect your QuickBooks to this, like we just did. You could chat with it, connect your QuickBooks to it, say every morning, please send me a report on my accounts receivable using QuickBooks. And it'll do that. So that'll give you like one useful thing that you can do. Perhaps you want to send out a spreadsheet every day to your sales team or to your collections team. Now you have Gmail connected. You could connect it to your QuickBooks, your Gmail, and now you could say every morning send that spreadsheet to my collections team, and it'll do that process for you. It'll build on itself, so don't worry about it feeling overwhelming just now. See if you can do one thing with it. Yeah, you can get it to do QuickBooks entries if you wanted to. I don't have a community yet, but we'll chat about it at the end. I'm doing a cohort starting July 1st, so that'll be the start of the community. All right, we'll go back to the session. Close this up. So I'm going to say open up Facebook and run the Facebook lead gen skill on one post. I want to receive a spreadsheet with 2 options and 2 replies in my Telegram. So I'm specifically saying, don't do this for too long. Just do 2 and send it to my Telegram. In practice, I would probably set up a cron job here. I would say run something like this every 5 hours or every 6 hours or every once a day. That way it runs on its own. I just get a message when it's ready and I can review and just get it out of the way. And it'll do this continuously while I'm not focused on scrolling Facebook and replying and trying to get leads for whatever I'm selling. No, cron jobs cron jobs are expensive in the sense that you run them much more often, so they're expensive that way. But they will still use your they will still just use your existing monthly account, so you don't have to worry about if you're using a monthly account. That's the best way right now. Is this a workflow that you can share? Yes, I will share this after the call. You will get it with the recording. Doesn't Facebook block you if you're trying to use Facebook, like Marketplace? I thought about use cases of getting it to post and manage up Marketplace sales. People are already doing that with Facebook Marketplace. The idea is you use it like you would like a real person is using it. You're not trying to just trying to use it headless. You're opening up a real browser. You're pointing and clicking to different things. If it feels like a real user, you're not hammering requests at Facebook, it's not a big deal. And use it from your real profile, Chrome profile. Don't use a separate Playwright, whatever it suggests, that kind of profile. So use your real browser, use your real machine, and you should be okay. Especially if you're behind a the other thing is if you're using a VPS, like some people have said, if the VPS is behind it, most likely it's in a data center, which means it has a data center IP. Facebook might block that, and we'll actually find that out. So you can use your own machine to do it, use the browser on your real desktop or laptop to do it, or you can set up a VPN so it uses a residential IP address. Residential IP addresses are safer than data center ones. The comment. The whole machine simplified. So this thing may take some time to run. I just wanted to run through the rest of the presentation. So the idea is for the people that are trying to include AI in their business, Hermes is, I would say, if this seems like a reasonable entry level for you on a technical basis, use Hermes. It will give you a lot of value. You'll be able to connect your systems to it. You'll be able to ask questions to it. You'll be able to set up your workflows. It is the best bang for buck right now, in my opinion, Hermes plus Codex for a non-technical person that just wants to get used to using AI in their business. For the people that are trying to start an AI services company or they're already running it, this is a great, like, you can package this up and sell it as like the initial thing that people do. That you sell to an executive, you sell to the owner of the company as like, hey, this is your AI layer. This is what you can build things on. If you're already on a VPS, you can use something called Evomi. I use that. There's many other ones. It's the cheapest one I found. Use Evomi to get your residential IP address. You can get the API key and then tell Hermes to just integrate it into what you're trying to do. So July 1st, we're going to be starting a paid cohort. So we're going to do this kind of thing, but we're going to do it individually for 20 people. This is limited to 20 people because we want enough one-on-one time. We want enough time to be able to focus on each person and be able to figure out what they need, build out the workflows for their business, and have a working AI layer for them, for you if you're interested in this. It'll be 3 weeks. It'll be live Q&A twice a week, and you'll have access to me and my team 24/7. My wife and I are running this together, possibly with one other person. And if you are interested in this now for the next 2 days, it's going to be $2,340 for the 3 weeks, so $2,340. And after so that's the price but for 2 days we're gonna for this group that's here, it's gonna be $1,980 for that for the same 3 weeks. After 2 days, we're gonna bring it back to the $2,340. And you can join it at school.com/Clawdrop. You'll get all this information in your email afterwards as well. Let's go back to Clawdrop. So we have about 15 minutes left. We'll wait for this to run. But if you have any questions, now is a good time to ask. And if you want to, you can and feel free to unmute yourself and also talk if you would prefer it over chatting. So Cecilia, out of everything that you're using Hermes with, what is the most valuable workflow for you? This has been a good one for me, the one that I'm sharing, because it's helped to get at least, for running a business like mine, it's based on information and education. This has been great. I can talk to people that are looking for something, they are needing help, and then be able to actually help them out, and then turn that into a real conversation in the DMs or or over email. I also run a I also have like a marketing side to this, and it creates a report that's it's a paid report for my clients, and I send it out Mondays every day. Before it would take I had a team overseas that would compile the report over the weekend, and I would send it out on Monday. Now an agent does it, and it takes 25 minutes. So that's been really useful. What's my background? Yeah, I should have talked a little bit more about my background. But I went to school. My master's was in computer engineering, and my undergrad was in industrial engineering. I did a little bit of both. My wife and I, we were in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, in the tech world for several years, and then I joined my dad here in St. Louis, and we have a company that imports stone. So we import stone from a lot of Brazil, India, a lot of other places, and we're a distributor. So we took that from about 3 million when I joined. I was there to now we're about 15 million. So I understand small business, and the idea is with this, I'm able to help small business with with my tech background and my um, small business background. Oh, cool. Construction. Justify me learning. Okay, what next? Tyler, help me build an ROI to justify me learning how to use agents, your marketing example. This is a great question. If you have, this is a great way to do it in a cost-effective manner. I believe Codex has something called computer use, and Perplexity has a computer use. Those are great if you're okay spending more money and like learning less and allowing the AI to do more. Those are also great options. The ROI would be that this won't be the only thing you learn. You'll learn this, and then you'll be able to automate a lot more things that you do on a daily basis. The idea is that you want to be able to focus on things that require the human touch. This is going to be the baseline the next year or two. You are going to be focusing on human connection, the way I see it. This is just my opinion. Human connection, building relationships, that kind of thing. Everything that's admin, everything that's kind of requires like a computer doing repetitive multi-step processes, an agent can do better than a human. And then that allows you to focus on things that do matter in your business. Safe limits, yeah, that's a great question. I limit it to 20 per run, and I do it maybe 2 or 3 times a day, 2 more times a day, usually 2. And not every time you'll find that many to comment on, depending. If you're a local business, if you're a local plumber, you may or may not find that many every time this process runs. What's up? I'm gonna just check. Yeah, so 20 browsing groups. Ask it to go slow. I think if this demo isn't working, I can maybe show you on a different one, the one that does work. We'll see. This is a machine that I created just for this workshop, so there might be a possibility it's running into some issues, but it runs on my other laptop, which I can show. They can detect camouflage and browse, but exactly. You are going to use your existing Chrome profile, Lewis. Don't use camouflage, don't use browser use your real profile, use your real browser. I own a services-based business and I have various automations run every 2 hours during business hours to keep costs low. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Do you think for a non-technical person who doesn't understand a lot, implementing things in Hermes is doable? I think it's doable, but they got to be open to it. I think it's like if you can give them a taste of what it is. This has been my attempt to do that. I don't know if it's been successful, but showing that what they can do in a very short period of time, just by chatting to a chatbot, you can automate so much. I think the block of people systems thinking, it's like programming accessible. Yeah, you're needing top debug. Yeah, I heard about somebody that's just offering like a flat fee per month, unlimited agents, unlimited work around AI. And I think that's one way to sell it. Like, hey, you don't have to work, you don't have to be the technical person. I'll set it up for you. I'll run it for you. You can add on as many automations as you want. It's just a flat fee, and the technical work is being done by agents anyway. Exactly, Lewis. You can use Hermes to open up your Chrome and then automate the posting. Exactly. Perfectly, Jen. This was working. Yeah, if you were to offer that support, how would you manage? How would you offer that service? How would you manage the IT support? Yeah, you would have to create automations around it. You would find that a lot of the requests that come in are going to be common. Like, hey, this like if you let's say you have a menu of 10 things that you would automate for people, you're going to get you're going to get one client and you're going to understand, hey, these are the things that are breaking, these are the things that they need. And you'd create standardizations around those things that, hey, every time this breaks or every time they want this, I have an agent that supports that. Or they want to change, I already have like 10 configurations for this. So if they want this flavor versus that flavor, I want something that does lead gen on Reddit versus Facebook. Those are easily adaptable. It's something that looks into my QuickBooks and gives me a report every day. Or I want to like, let's say the person's like, hey, they have a sales team. I want to check in with all the sales teams members that have not hit their quota for the past month. All those systems are connected. Your CRM, your email, your calendar, their calendar. Like those are all automations that you can do to save them a little bit of time. And you can, if they have different CRMs, if they have different email systems, those are all adjustable using Hermes with Codex in the backend. Is that what you meant, Cecilia? This was working. It's having some trouble. So Facebook.com and um, find me two posts. Yeah, I would use Telegram. I personally prefer Telegram. Slack seems a little heavy, seems more reasonable for if you have a team. If you just one, Telegram's great. Yes, and also using your tokens, of course, and covering the expenses when you charge clients. Yes. What I would do is I would get a business I would get the business version or the enterprise version of ChatGPT, and then and just create an account for them and bundle it into the price. So I would just get like the $100, $200 plan and say, hey, this is what this it's going to be $200 for this, and then your cost, or if you just want to bundle it in, that's what I would do. For the most part, the usage is not going to exceed the the max plan on Codex. I know it's 3. It's technically the end. If you want to stick around to see this in action, feel free to. If you already have Hermes on VPS, can you connect through the desktop app? Yes, you can. You have to use a remote desktop or remote gateway to connect to it uh, instead of the local gateway, which is in settings. Currently, OpenAI 20 or 100 plan is the best for value quality. Since we use OAuth, the rest are either too expensive or low in quality. Yep, I would yeah, exactly. Claude is probably better, but it's too expensive. And OpenAI is, is pretty good or just as good in many respects. So let's able to do this. Yeah, I apologize. This when I tested it yesterday, it worked, and today it's having trouble. It has to connect to the same profile. It has to connect to this on the same port, so it's having some trouble doing that. Yeah, Claude can be expensive. Do you personally let it send emails for you? I worry about letting it go through OAuth. Seems risky. Um, there is there's a read-only API key for Gmail that you can set it up with instead of the full access Gmail if you're worried about that. That way it can read, and I believe there's a draft only or drafts one. So with those two keys, with those two APIs enabled or the scopes enabled, I believe scopes is the right word. Not scopes is the right word. Those two scopes, then it can read your email and draft emails for you, and then it can't send anything. Okay. So I had asked it to run this, so it inspected one post in OpenClaw. It tells me, hey, that post he was asking about Clawdrop was for construction and maintenance automation startup and getting agents to reliably communicate. And it sent me a sheet that has that. It has the post, it has the snippet, and it has the drafted comment. So in the notes, or you can ask it to specify a new column, and it'll tell you could say review, post this, don't post this. So I can check like this is what the draft says. Now, in the last workshop that we did, we built a my voice skill, like how it talks, how the agent can talk like you. So this ideally would use that type of skill. So it sounds like you. So you have minimal editing to do on this. So if you're on your phone and you look at this, they say, yeah, and you check, hey, yeah, these comments look good. I can say, please post them and send me the URLs for each post. So it'll do the same thing that this was doing here, except now you don't have to be in front of your computer. It'll run that, and you could do that 2-3 times a day. Right now, it's only doing 2 posts. You could do 20 of them, like I usually do, and it's a nice time saver, and it gives you like a steady drip of leads also. So the difference with Hermes is that it's an autonomous agent able to work 24/7 using cron jobs. Exactly, using cron jobs, and you can when we come to the point of like, hey, we need to start thinking about which provider to use, which LLM to use, you can hook in any provider that you want, any model that you want here. And yeah, it does require a little bit of a setup to get it, to be able to use it like this. It's not just chatting to a chatbot, but essentially, yeah, you can have it run with any brain, any model. Exactly, Milo. So you can do that with GWS CLI. One thing that I would say is, well, two things. Safety wise, give it the least minimum, give it the bare minimum permissions, APIs, scopes that it needs to do its job. You can always add more on. And the other thing is that things do expire. So if you're wanting it to run 24/7, look into creating something called a Google service account. Those don't expire, but they are very powerful. So do you find yourself using the desktop more than Telegram? So yeah, I use the terminal. I typically don't use the desktop, but essentially it's using the the terminal version of this. The desktop is great if you are not technical and you want to be able to see the things. I really do like the desktop, the amount that I have used it. I like how it's laid out, how it's easy to connect the tools and stuff to it. But I prefer the terminal, and then I use Telegram. With desktop app with remote gateway, can Hermes touch my local computer? That is a good question. It is touching your desktop because that's where that program is running, but it shouldn't have any access to it because you're only giving it remote access. It might write to some files and stuff locally though. Josh, you can do this with your Microsoft account. I believe it will work very similarly. If you're not technical, you could also look into doing the MCP connections. They are a little bit simpler, I believe. They are a little bit more limited as well, but you can use MCPs to connect your Microsoft account. I know that Microsoft has MCPs, so you'd be able to connect it to your Hermes using those. Let's see where that is at. Yeah, MCP is right here. Oh, Microsoft would give you like, hey, this is the name, or you could give it whatever name and give you like a JSON where you would then save server, and then you'll be able to connect to your Outlook, your Excel, all of that. Like Claude Code in an IDE, you can get it to run on your computer over your browser. The issue is that someone can hack your Hermes and start interacting with your computer. Yeah, if they can access your computer or VPS, then everything's under. Yeah, everything is hackable that way for sure. Yeah, isn't that why people put yeah, VPS, you still need to lock it down. You still need to lock it down as much as possible on a programmatic level, like with firewall, with like we did with Telegram, we connected it to just this user ID, this chat, and this bot. So like other users can't talk to it. You can't talk to it on another chat with a different user ID. So stuff like that will limit it. There's no such thing as unhackable. There's always that concern no matter what you do. Yes. Yeah, you can, it gives you a layer of protection. So you can see that it's browsed and it's found things, and it's now trying to do the replies like I asked it to. For the bridge for locking down your connection, you could use something called Tailscale. It's just like a private VPN connection, so it'll put it for you on its own network between, and it'll only the machines you have on your Tailscale network will be able to connect to each other and talk. Paul, yeah, I'll be sending the instructions for this, so you'll have access to the video, and yeah, I can also send some instructions as well. So you can see that it posted from me with that account to this post. So now for the next run, it will, the maximum can summarize. It posted it, so I don't know if it was trying to do more, but it looks like it's done because I see it posted on Facebook right here. Okay, yeah, you'll get that recording. So that's the end of this little short demo. It can do a lot more, depends on what you want it to do, and I will send out the recording. Are there any last few questions before we wrap up? Thanks, Tyler. Thank you, Peter. Thank you guys for joining. Thanks, Ashu. Thanks, Cecilia. Thanks, Joe. And if this is of interest to you and your business, feel free to reach out. And if you want to talk about, so we have Tyler who's on this call. He is a partner that we work with for much deeper, bigger integrations, AI stuff that businesses are trying to do. He and his son Nate, they're a team based out of Utah, and they do fantastic work. They are also in Chris's group, so feel free to reach out to me and I can connect you. If you want to learn how to do this yourself, I'll send out that cohort invite and see if that is for you. And feel free to reach out to me on email as well, and we can talk about if this is the right fit for you or not. It's limited to 20 people. We have, I believe, 1 or 2 people that have signed up. So we still have space. Thanks, Reagan. Turn this off now. All right. Thank you guys. Bye.